You wake up at 2 a.m., and it feels like your big toe is on fire. Even the weight of a bedsheet is agonizing. You're confused and angry. You haven't touched a steak or a shrimp in 6 months. You eat salads and drink water. So why are you still getting gout attacks? Because you have been fighting the wrong enemy. This video is for educational purposes only. Gout can cause permanent joint damage if left untreated. Consult your doctor. I want you to know 2 things right away. 1. Your frustration is valid. If you've followed every avoid meat rule and you're still waking up in tears, that's not a personal failure. That's a failure of the message you were given. 2. This video will explain, step by step, what's actually driving modern gout flares and what you can do alongside your doctor to lower your uric acid burden. Over the next 3 minutes I'll do 3 things. First, validate why so many of you follow the no meat advice. Second, gently bust that myth and explain why it's incomplete. And third, reveal the pantry item that's silently fueling many attacks in modern diets. You deserve an explanation that doesn't shame you. You deserve science that matches the food environment of today, not advice from a different era. So let's be clear. Purines from meat do matter, but they're only part of the story. The bigger driver for many people right now is something you probably reach for without thinking. Concentrated, liquid fructose, especially high fructose corn syrup. If you're thinking, wait, I already cut out meat. I've been careful. I hear you. That's why this video won't blame you. It will show the biochemical reason fructose behaves differently in the body, why liquid sugars strike fast and hard, and how modern metabolic strain, insulin resistance, alcohol, and hidden sugars change how your kidneys and liver handle uric acid. Before we move on, I'm not offering medical orders here. This is an educational roadmap, practical, evidence-informed, meant to sit beside your medical care. If you have severe gout, joint deformity, or are on medications, please keep working with your rheumatologist as we walk through this together. Alright, let's begin. I'll start by showing exactly why the old single focus on meat got us stuck, and how modern foods built for convenience rewired the risk. You did everything they told you. You stopped the steak, the liver, the shrimp. You avoided high purine foods. And still, the flare. That sense of betrayal, your body failing you despite your effort, is real. Let me say this plainly. The old meat is the enemy story is incomplete. It's not a lie, but it's a half-truth that has left many people needlessly scared of ordinary foods. Why were you told to avoid meat? Because purines in high purine foods, organ meat, some seafood, yes, do break down into uric acid. That biochemical pathway is real and was the best target of advice in an era when gout was primarily driven by heavy meat broths and alcohol. But in most people today, dietary purines are only one piece of the uric acid puzzle. Modern research shows that the majority of uric acid in the body actually comes from internal or endogenous production, not directly from the food you ate that morning. So if you cut meat and still flare, you aren't failing. You were following a useful part of the advice, but it missed the bigger, modern trigger. Here's the key. Not all sugars behave the same. Glucose, the kind your cells use for energy, is handled all over the body. Fructose, the sugar that makes sweet drinks and many processed foods addictive, is handled differently. Your liver is the primary site of fructose metabolism. That concentrated, liver-first processing is what makes fructose uniquely capable of increasing uric acid production. Here's what happens in the liver, in plain terms. Fructose is phosphorylated rapidly by an enzyme called fructokinase. That reaction consumes ATP, the cell's energy coin. When lots of fructose arrives quickly, think soda, sweetened iced tea, fruit drinks, the liver uses up ATP transiently. That ATP breakdown produces AMP, which is then shunted down the purine degradation pathway and converted into uric acid. In short, a big hit of fructose can cause a direct, fast dump of uric acid derived from your own cell's nucleotide breakdown, not just from dietary purines. Why does that metabolic route matter for you? Because liquid or concentrated fructose reaches the liver quickly and in high doses. far faster than purines from a steak are converted into uric acid. Several large epidemiologic studies have shown that higher intake of sugar-sweetened beverages and fructose-rich juices is associated with a higher risk of developing gout. In other words, the things we reach for every day, sodas, some fruit juices, many processed food syrups, are powerful, modern drivers of hyperuricemia for many people. Now, I'm not saying purines don't matter. In some people, especially those with genetic issues or very high intake of organ meats and certain seafoods, dietary purines are important. But for a large portion of modern gout patients, especially those who changed their meat intake and still flare, the dominant, modifiable driver is excess fructose and the metabolic stress it creates. There's more. Fructose also promotes hepatic fat and worsens insulin resistance over time. And insulin resistance itself reduces the kidney's ability to excrete uric acid. So fructose can both create uric acid in the liver and set the metabolic stage that prevents you from getting rid of it efficiently. That two-hit pattern is why removing only red meat often isn't enough. To summarize the evidence so far, mechanistic lab studies show fructose metabolism makes uric acid via ATP depletion and AMP turnover. Population studies link sugar-sweetened beverages to higher gout risk. And clinical reviews emphasize that most uric acid arises from endogenous pathways and is influenced by metabolic state. Put together, that's why the "blame the meat" message is insufficient for many people today. I know that's a lot of science in a few minutes, and it can feel overwhelming. But there's a practical implication that's easy to grasp. Lowering concentrated, liquid fructose in your daily diet often produces meaningful reductions in uric acid spikes. And that's something you can do alongside your prescribed medical treatment. Next, I'll show the 3 hidden triggers you probably didn't expect, and what to prioritize first. We just covered the biochemistry. Fructose hits the liver first and can directly raise uric acid. Now I want to show you the 3 hidden triggers that, more often than not, explain why people who've cut meat still have flares. These are not blame tools. They're practical targets you can change alongside your doctor. The single most overlooked trigger is liquid fructose, sugar-sweetened beverages, many fruit juices, sweetened iced teas, and foods with high fructose corn syrup, HFCS. Why is liquid so potent? Because beverages deliver large amounts of fructose rapidly to the liver. That rapid delivery bypasses normal digestion delays, floods fructokinase activity, depletes ATP, produces AMP, and sends a fast, measurable spike of uric acid into the blood. This is the biochemical 1-2 punch that many old diet lists never accounted for. Epidemiology supports this. Large prospective cohorts found that men and women who drink more sugar-sweetened beverages and fructose-rich juices have higher rates of incident gout. That's not just correlation. The mechanism we just described is how the effect can happen biologically. This is not about moralizing sweets. It's about mechanics. A single soda a day for someone with already vulnerable uric acid handling can be the difference between a quiet week and a midnight flare. Alcohol is the second common trigger, and beer is especially problematic. Beer contributes in 2 ways. First, it contains purine-rich compounds, from yeast and grains, that add to the uric acid load. Second, ethanol metabolism increases lactate and other metabolic changes that make the kidneys reabsorb uric acid rather than excrete it. So beer both adds uric acid and prevents its removal. That's why many clinicians tell patients to limit alcohol during vulnerable periods. It's not always necessary to avoid a social drink forever, but frequent beer drinking is a clear modifiable risk for flares. Never stop your medication or throw away your allopurinol suddenly. Stopping gout medication cold turkey can cause massive, severe flare-ups. Always work with your rheumatologist. The third hidden trigger is metabolic, insulin resistance. Elevated insulin levels tell the kidneys to reabsorb sodium and uric acid via transporters like URAT1 and GLUT9. In plain English, if your body is in an insulin-resistant state, your kidneys hold onto more uric acid instead of peeing it out. So even if production rises only moderately, impaired excretion magnifies the effect. This is crucial because fructose doesn't only make uric acid, over time it worsens hepatic fat and insulin resistance, which then reduces urate clearance. That turns a transient spike into a sustained problem. Imagine this typical pattern. A person skips breakfast, grabs an energy drink mid-morning, has a beer after work, and snacks on processed foods. That sequence piles on fructose load, ethanol effects, and metabolic stress, and the kidneys are steered toward reabsorbing uric acid. For many people, that pattern explains their repeated flares despite avoiding steak. Mechanistic studies explain how fructose raises uric acid. Cohort data link sugary drinks to higher gout risk. Alcohol, beer both add purines and impair excretion. And insulin resistance turns on renal reabsorption. Targeting these three, liquid fructose, alcohol, especially beer, and insulin resistance, gives you the highest chance of reducing flare frequency when paired with your prescribed treatment. I know this may sound like a lot, but the takeaway is simple. Prioritizing reduction of concentrated liquid sugars, being careful about beer, and improving insulin sensitivity through diet, movement, and sleep are practical, evidence-based steps you can take now. In the next chapter, I'll give you a clear, stepwise lifestyle adjunct protocol you can use alongside your meds to lower your uric acid burden. Okay, here's the part that actually helps people feel different, not just no different. Medication treats the immediate uric acid problem. Lifestyle shapes the environment your medication works inside. This next section is a practical, step-by-step lifestyle adjunct protocol you can use alongside your rheumatologist to reduce uric acid spikes, lower flare frequency, and improve metabolic resilience. Remember, these are adjuncts to medical care, not replacements. Step 1. Concentrated, liquid fructose first. Make beverages your first target. Replace sugar-sweetened sodas, sweetened iced teas, energy drinks, and most boxed fruit juices with plain water, sparkling water, or unsweetened tea. Whole fruit is almost always a better choice than fruit juice because the fiber slows absorption and reduces the liver's fructose load. Small, consistent reductions in liquid sugar often produce a large clinical benefit because those drinks deliver fructose quickly and in large doses. Look for ingredients: high fructose corn syrup, fructose, corn syrup, invert sugar, and agave are red flags. Also remember sucrose, table sugar, is half fructose, so products high in added sugar still matter. If it's a drink and it tastes sweet, assume it's delivering a liver-first fructose burden and treat it cautiously. Step 2. Alcohol. Be strategic, especially with beer. If you drink, prioritize minimizing beer and high-frequency drinking patterns. Beer is a double threat. It can add dietary purines and it impairs renal clearance, and several cohort studies link beer, more than wine, to higher gout risk. That said, total alcohol amounts matter too. Spacing drinks, choosing lower frequency intake, and discussing safe limits with your physician are important steps. Step 3. Improve insulin sensitivity. Reducing refined carbs and added sugars, prioritizing protein and fiber, losing even a modest amount of weight if you're overweight, and adding consistent movement all help. Clinical trials and feeding studies show DASH-style patterns and weight loss lower serum urate over weeks to months. And improved insulin sensitivity helps your kidneys get rid of uric acid rather than hold onto it. Step 4. Hydration and urine flow support kidney clearance. Drink enough water to keep your urine pale and dilute. Higher urine flow helps flush uric acid and tiny crystals before they grow. Many studies and guidelines suggest that adequate fluid intake is associated with fewer attacks and less risk of hyperuricemia. This is a simple, low-risk step for most people with normal kidney function. Step 5. Support the gut and recovery systems. There's growing research that the gut microbiome influences uric acid handling. Certain probiotic strains and fiber-rich diets may help modulate urate metabolism. The evidence is still emerging, but adding fiber, fermented foods if tolerated, and discussing targeted probiotic strategies with a clinician or dietitian is reasonable as part of a broader plan. Step 6. Practical daily protocol. 1. Morning. Start with water and real food. Avoid sugary breakfast drinks. 2. Day. Carry a refillable water bottle. Swap sodas for sparkling water or unsweetened tea. 3. Evening. If you drink, limit beer and avoid nightly drinking. Prioritize sleep. 4. Weekly. Aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate activity plus 2 resistance sessions. 5. Monthly. Review your grocery list and labels. Reduce packaged, HFCS heavy items by 1 shelf at a time. If you want a guided, practical companion for these steps, the End of Gout is an educational blueprint designed to work with your doctor. It's not a medication. It's a lifestyle companion. Grocery store decoding, label drills, meal swaps that keep protein and satiety high while lowering concentrated fructose, sample movement plans focused on insulin sensitivity, and a module on gut support strategies. People use it to make the complex simple, not to replace medical therapy. You didn't fail. The world asked you to avoid meat and you did. That was sensible. Now we're adding modern, high-impact steps. Cut liquid sugars first, be strategic with alcohol, especially beer, improve insulin sensitivity, hydrate, and consider gut-supporting habits. These steps change the underlying biology that's keeping your uric acid high, and they work far better when coordinated with your medication and your rheumatologist. Let's bring this home. You didn't fail when you cut out meat. You responded to the guidance you were given. You followed the rules. What we've learned is that the modern food environment added new, powerful drivers of gout that the old single-focus advice missed. You don't have to live in fear of a healthy piece of meat, but you do need to respect your liver. Drop the fructose, support your kidneys, and work with your doctor. Quick recap. 1. Purines from meat can raise uric acid, but they're only one part of the story. 2. Concentrated liquid fructose, think sodas, many juices, HFCS, can create rapid uric acid spikes by the liver. 3. Beer and alcohol add another layer of risk. 4. Insulin resistance amplifies the problem by reducing renal uric acid clearance. 5. Practical lifestyle steps. Slash liquid sugars first, be strategic with alcohol, improve insulin sensitivity, hydrate, and support gut health, are high-value adjuncts to your medical care. A final, very important note about medication. Never stop your medication or throw away your allopurinol suddenly. Stopping gout medication cold turkey can cause massive, severe flare-ups. Always work with your rheumatologist. If you want a practical, evidence-informed companion to walk you through label reading, meal swaps, movement plans, and simple gut support strategies, check the link in the description for the End of Gout, an educational lifestyle blueprint designed to work alongside your doctor. It's not a replacement for medical care. It's a practical adjunct to help you reduce modern metabolic triggers. This video is for educational purposes only. Gout can lead to permanent joint damage if left untreated. Please consult your doctor or rheumatologist for personalized care. I know how isolating and painful gout can be. You've done hard things already. With targeted lifestyle steps, smarter choices about beverages and alcohol, and coordination with your medical team, you can meaningfully reduce uric acid burden and live with fewer surprises. Thank you for trusting me to walk through the science with you. You're not alone.